Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Rank and I am the volunteer coordinator for Project Purpose. Today we're going to do a training on how to work with your student if they're in pre-K or kindergarten. Sometimes it can be really hard to go into a tutoring session because you're not quite sure what to work on with your student. It's been a while since you yourself have been in school and you may not remember what was I learning when I was in pre-K or kindergarten. Well, today, my hope is that we would cover some of that information and you would feel better equipped to work with your student. We have developed an activity chart for pre-K and kindergarten students. The goal of this is to help you and your students stay on track and focus throughout your session. There's 6 different activities that you guys can do with the goal of them each lasting 10 minutes to fill your tutoring session. You can start with the first one, the second one, the third one. It doesn't really matter where you start. If after the activity the student feels like they did their best, then they give themselves a sticker. If you feel like the student did their best, you give them a sticker. If both of your answers match, then the student gets a bonus sticker. At the end of the session, if the student has 9 stickers, then they can get 1 prize. If they have 14 or more stickers, then they can get 2. If they're able to get all 18 stickers, then they can get a 3rd prize. There's a prize bin in our office that you can help your student pick out their prizes. The first activity we're going to talk about is reading a book together. Our Project Purpose library is divided into letters. So each book is labeled A through Z. You can assess what book your student is on for their level and then reach for those books. So while you're reading, you're also helping your student build their comprehension of what they're reading. So some things that you can do is talk about the title and make a prediction of what's going to happen in the book. As you're reading, you can look at the pictures and ask different questions to help your student make connections to what they're reading. So some examples would be, how do you think the character is feeling right now? And have you ever felt that way? Or have you ever done whatever is happening in the book before? So maybe they're playing baseball. Have you ever played baseball before? You can count items or identify colors and shapes in the pictures. So you can count, I see 5 apples in this picture, or I spy something that is red. Can you find it? I read a book like this before. Both books had a character who took place in, where, about. So referencing other books, and maybe it's even a book that you guys have read together before. And then when you're done, talk about the book that you read. Have your student retell the story and see if they can remember what they read. Along with reading a book, you can work on reading skills that include letter and sound recognition. You can identify capital letters and lowercase letters, identify vowels and consonants, work on CVC words, which are words that are a consonant, a vowel, and a consonant, such as cat, pig, dog. You can also work on sight words. Next, we're going to focus on practicing math skills. One important thing for pre-K and kindergarten students to lay a strong foundation in is naming and writing their numbers. So you want to do this by starting small. So just work on 1 through 10. And when they have those numbers down, do 1 through 20. When they have those numbers down, do 1 through 50. And then lastly, you can get up to 100. But like I said, you want to start small and then move on to the next group. You can also practice counting. So same thing, starting small, starting with 1 through 10 and then moving on as your student progresses. You can use their number grid in their folder to help them match the number with what it looks like. And then have them move a counter or their finger along the numbers as they slowly count. You can also work on shape and color identification. So sorting items by shape, by color, by size. And then lastly, working on adding and subtracting. So we have a bunch of hands-on math items that are little blocks that are perfect for practicing for adding and subtracting. So you want to start with just adding and subtracting to 10 and then moving on to 20. So you can have your students count out a small pile under 10 and then practice adding or taking away 5 or less items to their pile. There's a few different ways that you can practice writing skills with your student. One thing that you can do is grab a large paper from our office. It's kept on the shelf next to the filing cabinet. And you can have your student practice writing their name, numbers, letters, and shapes. You can also draw something simple for your student to copy, and then they can draw something for you to copy. You can spend time coloring together. And then lastly, you can make a simple book together. Just take some paper, fold it in half. On the top of the paper, they can draw the picture, and on the bottom, you guys can write the story. For younger students, you as a tutor will have to do most of the writing and have your student write 1 or 2 words per page. Lastly, there's a section on the activity chart that's for the tutor's choice and a section for the student's choice. We encourage you to use these sections to work on fine motor skills. Fine motor skills are so important for our students. They're needed for writing and cutting, buttoning, unbuttoning, drawing, using utensils. The list can go on and on. In pre-K and kindergarten students, they are really working on these skills, and they can be a lot of fun to help students with. So some ideas of how to help students with their fine motor skills include we have different activity books that have cutting and mazes and connect the dots. All of those activities can be beneficial. Playing with Play-Doh, we have Play-Doh kits in the office for you. Lacing cards, matching games, puzzles, building with Legos and blocks. Really, the list goes on and on of how you can work on these skills. This can be a fun way to incorporate different activities into your tutoring session. I just want to say thank you so much for taking time to invest in your student and become better equipped to serve them. If you have any questions about this training, feel free to reach out to myself or Marcy, and we would be glad to give you more support.